What's going on out there in the land of YouTube and Twitter too, I think, because I think we're going to 3 different platforms. How is everybody? Let me see if I can see the chat. Yo, Ethric, what's going on? How are you? Deborah is in here. Mikey B is here. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Do me a favor, can you hear me? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. I want to make sure the audio is good. Let's do a little Marcy Fox is here. What's going on, Marcy? Gloria, what's going on? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. You know what I should do real quick? I should go to settings and I should go my virtual background. I should add, let me see, downloads. Oh, they have to be in JPEG. One second, let me change the background here. How is everybody doing and what is going on out there in the land of YouTube? Like, I can't even believe the things that are happening right now. You know, it's the things that we're seeing that are coming to life are real. And, you know, seeing these cops are getting away with murder now, you know, we're seeing that on camera more and more. And that's going to leave an effect on people. We're seeing it regularly. We're seeing that city officials, you know, we see it in Ironton for sure. We saw Sam Cramblett, we saw Spool Jarek, we saw Chris Perry, we saw all these different things happen. And, you know, I think that we're at a tipping point in society now where there's so much information coming out. And I know I'm going to get right into the intermittent fasting part of this. If you guys are here to learn intermittent fasting, I'm going to go over as many details as I can with the limited graphics that I have. But as far as, you know, the reason why I can sit here and teach you guys intermittent fasting is because of how much information is available out there for us today. And it's so easy to be able to share this information. And I'm just, it's like we're so interconnected now in ways that we never have been before. So I want to teach you guys how to totally how to intermittent, but these cops are getting caught. That's the funniest thing that I think is like these cops are all getting caught. That's what's happening. You guys are witnessing it. So let me add a new background here real fast. And let me go to downloads here. Don't push the button. Right there. Save the background. Whoops. Can you guys see that? Don't push the button. Let me see if I can make it go. Don't push the button. I guess I'll kind of be in the way of that thing, but it's not too bad. There we go. Here. Okay. Does that work? Don't push the button. Sorry, it's a 16 by 1920 by 1080. So there I am. What's going on? What is going on? How is everybody? So I'm going to teach you guys everything you need to know about intermittent fasting. And this is really easy for me to explain to you because in 2018, I sat down and I began to watch a series of videos from scientific creators. And at this time, what had happened was autophagy had been discovered. And autophagy is a way to eat the dead skin, the dead cells, the scarring, the extra tissue, the fat rolls off of your body. And more importantly, not just aesthetically, but also scientifically, when you put your body into an autophagic state, your body begins to eat away the disease, diabetes, gout, cancer cells. You've all heard how we all have cancer cells in our body. We do. And so when you go into an autophagic state, your body will then eat those cancer cells before they have a chance to multiply and develop through your body. Fasting is, here's the best thing about fasting is what I'm going to teach you guys would cost you very little, very little. And I had to go shopping tonight, and so I make sure that I had all of the proper foods, because in a first world, you can get everything you need at Walmart. So the most important thing is that you simply don't eat. And so now I want to get like right into what I mean when I say don't eat. What I mean is don't push the button. So let me go to my first slide here. Let me screen share here. I don't like that background, but application window. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So right here is the button I'm talking about. Now, when you and I, people who are not diabetic, when you take in any amount of calories, you push that button. And what happens when you push the button in your belly button is your body will release insulin. It has to. And so you only have two ways of burning. You only have two ways of burning calories off your body. The only two ways that your body is gonna burn those calories off is through a sucrose system or a ketone system. So when you push the button, what will happen is your body will fill with insulin because it has to counteract the sugar. Here it is. When you push the button, your body will fill with insulin because there's sugar in your blood. And as you know, if you have sugar in your blood and your body can't process it, you die. This is why diabetics have to have a shot of insulin to make sure that they don't die. They actually need it. But of the two systems that I was talking about previously, your body will not burn ketones or fat for fuel while there is sugar in your body, because that would mean that there's insulin in your blood. When there's insulin in your blood, your body cannot use ketones for fuel because it must burn the sugar off so that you don't die. So while there's insulin in your blood right here, you can see the picture. Your body will not burn fat for fuel. Now, how simple is this really to understand? And I didn't create the graphic for it, but what this means is that if you have a cup of sugar, if you have a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee in the morning, then you fill your body full of insulin, and your ketone system will not come on to burn fuel. It can't, because there's insulin in your blood. So your ketone system that burns the deep brown fat, it won't be able to turn on. It can't come on. So, for example, someone said they're drinking a Mountain Dew right now. You just push the button. You just push the button, and that's exactly what happened. You just push the button. That's that's the way you gain weight. So now, let me show you something. Let me show you how it works. So the ketone system and the sucrose system are simply energy systems, and they work in conjunction with one another. So as you're depleting sugar, your body may burn a little fat. There's a scientific process that happens here. But if you don't eat anything, that's my dog, Charlie. So if you don't eat anything the first hour, if you just have a bunch of sugar your first hour, as you can see from Charlie, come here. Charlie, come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. It's right there. So the very first hour that you put all that sugar or carbohydrates in your body, Charlie, can you stop, please, buddy? I'm doing something right now. You're going to get kicked out. I'm not going to let you back in. If that's what you want, then you're not going to come back in. I'm busy right now, buddy. So sorry. The very first hour that so do you know you wake up in the morning and people will be like, oh, I have to have like an apple or a banana or some Raisin Bran, or I have to have something like that. What they're doing is they're filling their body full of insulin. Whereas if you fast, then your body does not feel full of insulin. You're starting off your day more like towards the end of the graphic where the body only has a couple specks of insulin left or no insulin left in the blood, so it can go straight into ketones, to that deep brown fat that you want to get rid of. So it's just an energy system. It's just how your body burns energy. And so you want to get into that ketogenic state, but here's where it really gets super interesting. Now, if you get to 16 or 18 hours of fat burning, of not having any calories, and what I mean by that is you can only have coffee, black coffee, and not the flavored coffee. It has to be black coffee, green tea, or salt, pink Himalayan salt. And you want to do a couple little shakes in a cup every couple hours and do a little bit of salt. And so, sorry about my dog. He's going crazy. I think one of my nieces or nephews here. I'd love to see him, but I want to finish this presentation. So, now there's one way you can look at it, but let me show you what happens if you fast past 18 hours. If you go past 18 hours, let me open up this slide here. You're going to go into an autophagic state, and I want to show you exactly what that means, but apparently this won't open as a Photoshop file, so I'm going to open it as a JPEG real quick. Okay. There we go. There it is. Wait, go to DLZ clips or people will think that's me. I can't do two things at one time, but let me open this up in cool. And now let me share this screen. So now if you get to the 20th hour, 22nd hour, 24th hour of fasting, and so this would be like if you started at 7 p.m. on Tuesday and then you ate again at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. When you get into an autophagic state, what happens is cells start eating each other. One cell will eat another cell. And you can look up autophagy. And I'm not going to sit here and teach scientific classes on autophagy because I'm a scholar of it and I've learned a ton about it. But I can recommend videos you go to. There's going to be Thomas DeLauer. I will pull up a couple videos for you real quick. Dr. Jason Fung. There's high intensity health with Mike Mutzel. Thomas DeLauer is one of the best teachers there is. He teaches a lot of ketogenic. But you want to get into the 20th, 22nd, 24th hour. And fasting like this, when you're only eating in a one, and listen, if you eat to 16 or 18 hours, you're doing a great job. You know, you're doing a good job. But it's just not, you know, you're not getting to the most important part. You're not getting to the most important part, which is the autophagy. And I can pull up a couple of informations, websites about autophagy, but the point is that you want that to happen. What happens is through a process called apoptosis, one cell will die, and it's natural. It's called cellular death. And when that cell dies, it spits out all of the disease and all the nonsense and garbage, and one cell will eat the other cell. And you don't lose any muscle when you intermittent fast. Your body will hold on to muscle. If you're a man at 13, 14 hours of no caloric intake, your body will disperse a very tiny amount of testosterone because your body thinks you're lost in the woods and you don't have any food. So it wants to give you a little bit of energy while it reserves all the muscle glycogen that it can. But your body will improve vastly and quickly. You guys are going to see it with me because I would love to say that January 1st was the day that I started, but nope. I went and got all the food just now. And so that's why I was kind of like a little bit late to get here. But if you guys follow along and don't press the button, website will be up soon. I'm going to move these to its own YouTube page. But you guys are going to see how quickly my body and my face will transform from just only eating in a 1 hour time window. And you want to get to the autophagic state. Let me open up a window real quick. Okay. Let me share this window with you guys that I'm looking at. So what autophagy does is it reverses the aging process. It changes how you age completely. It is so good for you. Listen, I know the last few months, you guys have looked at me and probably thought to yourself, "Oh man, Chili's health is going down." No, it's do you know how I got fat? I got fat by eating breakfast. This is the actual cellular process of what happens and how it breaks down, and your body will eat itself. It's incredible what it does. And this was only discovered in 2016 by a Japanese scientist. And now that we found it, I'm using myself as a testimony so that you guys can see how it works. But you want to make sure you drink a little bit of water every couple hours, a half a cup or a cup of water, a little bit of salt in the water, and then you want to do that for 24 hours. And then you want to break your fast with a little bit of white meat, either that's chicken or pork, the leanest, cleanest, light white meat you can get. And you want to get about 4 or 6 ounces of that in your body. And then you want to wait 5 or 10 minutes. And then there's a whole process that I'm going to show you guys tomorrow. But I went and got everything today. And you want to make sure you balance your probiotics and prebiotics. And you want to eat in a 1 hour window. I'm going to show you exactly what I eat tomorrow, like exactly. And then you know what I do? Honestly, I replicate that diet. I do the same thing and sometimes my clock will change because I like to eat in the night. My autophagy clock will change because sometimes I'll eat 26, 27 hours later and it's 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then the next day I'll eat at 22 or 23 hours. So I always go 22 hours because I want to get to autophagy. Let me show you another thing. When you get into the benefits of autophagy, you know what I'll do? Let me pull up some because you guys can go into your own stuff like this, but let me just show you where to look on YouTube because I want you guys to know. You can lose a lot of the loose skin. I mean, so Jason Fung is a guy who I watch a lot of his stuff. I watch
discoveries on autophagy.
now.
The word derives from the Greek auto, meaning self, and phagon, meaning to eat. The word literally means eating yourself. It's the body's mechanism of getting rid of all the broken down old cellular machinery, such as the organelles, the proteins, and the cell membrane, when there's no longer needed or they're not functioning well.
Okay, so that's the name of the video here is Top Autophagy Benefits Weight Loss, Jason Fung. But I also want you guys to know who Thomas DeLauer is. And just so you know, initially when I first started watching Thomas DeLauer, I judged him because he's this great big oaf looking, he's great. I judged him. And I remember, and here's how to do intermittent fasting for dummies.
Talk about what is intermittent fasting and why you shouldn't overthink it. If we're going to talk about the basic benefits, not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because if you're watching this video, you're probably already interested and your curiosity has been piqued because you know someone that has had crazy success with it.
Yeah, I have, and just so you guys know, and you know, I'm going to say this on broadcast 1 of intermittent fasting. I have incredible success with it. Like, it's amazing how fast my body, my face, my bones, my ligaments, my tendons, my eyes, my ears, my hair, my skin, my energy level, how much everything changes immediately. Because when I get off this broadcast tonight, I'm going to have one more dinner, and that will begin my 24-hour fast. And then by tomorrow night, I'll show you guys exactly what I eat first, and then how long I wait before I eat the next thing, and then what I eat then. And if you guys copy it exactly, you know, talk to your doctor, of course. But if you copy it exactly, you I come from an overweight family, you know, so I don't have any judgments on people who are overweight. It's just not, you know, it's just when half your family is overweight, you don't really have a judgment on people who are overweight. So, however, if you're struggling with your weight and you don't know how to intermittent fast, I'm just going to teach a few people. It's not like we have, you know, tens of thousands of people here. So I'll be able to teach you guys some stuff, and you'll be able to ask me questions that you just didn't know because you didn't have a guide who did this. But I've been doing this since 2018. And my goal is always to get to that 22nd, 23rd, 24th hour, sometimes 26th, 27th hour. I like to get a good brisk walk or exercise in at 16, 17 hours to try to really speed up apoptosis, speed up cellular death, speed up autophagy, get to autophagic state faster for a longer period of time. And then there's, you know, there's diminishing returns when you fast for too long, and if you fast too much, you're going to lose weight whether you like it or not. So, you know, some people like to do 16 hours on 8 hours of eating, and then they do 22 or 24 hours or 26 hours, and then they do 16 hours, and then they eat for 8 hours. I just choose to do it all in 1 hour and then fluctuate when that hour hits each night so that you guys can, you know, and this is all I'm going to do. And I'm not going to spend much more time on this because I showed you guys a graphic. The moment you push the button, the second you push the button, you fill your body full of insulin. You can have 3 products: black coffee, not flavored coffee, black coffee, green tea, plain old plain, or mint tea, plain, nothing in it, 0. And then you can have salt, pink Himalayan salt. And you should be drinking water and salt the whole time in between your 22 to 24, 26-hour fasts. That's what I'm going to do. You guys are welcome to vary your fasting time. There's apps you can get, but along this, there will be at least a half a dozen people I know are coming along this journey with me right now. And I'm starting, this is my last night of eating any bad food. And then tomorrow, you'll see I still eat an absolute ton of food. I just eat different foods because I only have 1 hour to get all the nutrients and minerals that I need to get in for my day. And then I also learned from, so this one here, I think it's,
I think that really optimizing your hormones is
okay. So listen to what she says here. And by the way, you know,
Peptides. I don't know if this is something.
because you're gonna get to this point where you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I should eat something. So listen to this woman. She's a doctor. She goes by Dr. Gabrielle.
Can you recommend the SARMs, the selective antigen receptor modulators, and how do you feel about using those?
I mean, like Rad 140.
Yeah, and there's a few other ones.
Okay, so don't lose yourself here in the technical talk that these guys are using right now. Just don't lose yourself. Just get past this. And she's going to break it down into really simple, fundamental language. But
I don't know all the. There's quite a few. Like a lot of like bodybuilding guys are dabbling.
Enough about those peptides, so the round one will minute the
Sure.
probably before I tell you something, and probably be much consistent use of testosterone. And we're talking about, I talk a lot about being over fat versus under muscle, and one of the most important things is really increasing the muscle mass and decreasing the body fat. So I do whatever I need to do for these patients to get that off.
Right.
And one of the things that I've been using is something called amlexanox, and that is a TBK1 inhibitor.
so hold on, let me get to this part where where was it at? Was it at 15 minutes?
Is it oral or injectable?
It's injectable.
So cute. Sure, naturally could get you there.
I'll find the exact clip for tomorrow night's broadcast when I teach you guys exactly what I eat, like exactly the exact things that I eat, so that you guys know it, because you guys will see this amazing, quick, fast change. It is crazy. Like, you guys can look at my face today and you'll be able to say, wow, the change happened in like a week. And it happens to everybody, because your body eats itself when it goes into starvation mode, and then you give it all the minerals and nutrients and protein it needs in this 1 hour window, and then you don't eat again for 23, 26 hours. And then you consistently do that day in and day out, and your body gets rid of all cells that it doesn't need, all fat cells that it doesn't need. But if you watch that whole video right here, and I'll put the link in the description here. If you watch this whole video, she says in this video, she says, I teach my people not to do intuitive eating. So I don't care if you feel like you need an apple or your body just said you needed some yogurt. No. When you're fasting, you don't eat anything. Your medication goes in your eating window. Some people have to wake up and take their essential medication to get through the day. I understand that. But then the other medications, your vitamins, minerals, those all get eaten during the time that you eat your food. And that's it. And then you stop eating, and it works. I did it with In-N-Out Burger 2 summers ago in LA. I had In-N-Out Burger for 2 weeks straight, and only In-N-Out Burger. And I think I looked better at the end of that 2 weeks than when I started, because I was teaching someone else about intermittent fasting. It works so well. It's unbelievable. But I'm going to teach you guys how to do it really healthy, so that you get all your vitamins, minerals, everything you need, so that your body won't have any deficiencies. I'm talking like first world intermittent fasting. You didn't, because you're going to break your fast with a little bit of chicken or white pork or turkey, white meat, and then you wait 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're going to have your red meat, which is going to be your T-bone steak. You don't have to have a lot of T-bone steak, but you have to have a little bit, or beef liver, which is the most nutrient-dense product on earth. So then you want a little bit of that, and then you're going to have your salads and your fruits and your probiotics and prebiotics, and then you're going to have your essential fats that you probably don't have now. You're not taking in a half a teaspoon of MCT oil, a half a teaspoon of ghee, a half a teaspoon of macadamia nut oil. You're probably not taking that in regularly. So your body actually doesn't have the proper nutrients and fats that it needs to preserve itself and to flourish properly. Because then after you give yourself all of those essential fats and the greens with the proteins and the fats from the red meat, which is the most nutrient dense product on earth, then when you don't eat, your body's going to go into that sucrose state, like I was showing you guys before. You guys remember the sucrose state where you have your body's full of, but your body doesn't feel full of insulin like it did from the sucrose state previously, because the very first thing you put in your body was that white protein. So your body, because it hasn't had any food for 23 to 26 hours, your body then fills with that enzyme instead of insulin. So you become less insulin resistant, less where you're going to be insulin dependent. You can even break type 2 diabetes. So it's so that's all I have to say about that. So you know, even someone who has a food addiction, right? Someone is, you're only as addicted to food as if you're how tired you are of feeling unhealthy, not being able to lose weight. You can't stick to a nutritional system or a diet, because truly with intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, you can still have whatever garbage you want on the end of your meal. I'm not recommending that, but you can. You can have whatever you want if you're eating in a 1 hour window, because your body won't be able to hold the calories. Now, it's not good for you, but not something's going to kill you. Not everything in life is good for you, but some things are not good for you and they're fun. So, you know, if you get to that 1 hour window where you're only eating in a 1 hour eating window, and then you're only having coffee, tea, salt, and water, your body, well, you're about to see what it does for me. And I'm doing some shirtless stuff, but I'm not going to show any of that stuff until I go through, you know, 6 or 8 weeks of this. And then I'll show you guys what happened and what happened with the progression. And by the end of this week, I'll tell you guys what that looked like, you know, and then I'll get into it, you know, you know, and there's going to be this debate about what eating clean is, what eating good is, all these things. The way that I factor eating well is your body getting all of the protein and essential fatty acids, nutrients, and minerals that your body needs to be its highest functioning self? That's what I think nutrition is. And that's why I don't eat a ton of the red meat, but I have a little bit every day. When I cook that T-bone steak, I spread it out over 3 or 4 days. And then I have my 2 to 4 ounces of that T-bone steak. And then I have a lot of chicken. And then I even have like a hamburger patty with some cheese on it. You guys are going to see. You guys are going to see exactly what I eat. Like exactly what I eat. Because I have to do it anyway, because I set a moniker for myself when my knee was all banged up. I was like, well, I can't do anything. And I was depressed and I wanted to eat. So, all right. So Mike Mutzel, High Impact Health right here. So but I can't, high intensity health, forgive me, I'm sorry. I call it high impact health. Here's his channel. He teaches a lot of good stuff. I'll put his link in there. Okay. So, I mean, and that is pretty much intermittent fasting in a nutshell. You just want to not turn on your sucrose system for at least 16 hours. Even if you're not going to do the intense autophagy stuff where you're going into cellular cannibalism and stuff like that, you should still get at least 16 hours of no calories going in your body. And we didn't over ghrelin. Ghrelin is this crazy little monster that gets in your stomach that makes you feel like you're dying of hunger if you take in sugar. If you have a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee in the morning, by midday, you're going to feel like this crazy grumbling gremlin in your stomach. It's called ghrelin. And that ghrelin can throw you off. That's why you don't want to have anything at all, just black coffee, straight green tea or mint tea, and then salt and water. So, I mean, that's right. Virginia's correct. And then, you know, when I go into balancing your probiotics and prebiotics, I do, so you can just look it up, Google probiotics and prebiotic foods. I do onions and I do garlic. I do kombucha, kefir, seaweed. There's just a whole list of foods. That's why I didn't do foods tonight, because it just gets too confusing. But I just wanted you guys to understand the basics is that you just don't eat. That's it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's so cheap. So cheap. And then try to get all the nutrients and vitamins and protein that you can get in during your eating window. And I'll teach you exactly what to eat. I mean, I'll teach you exactly. And if you listen and you ask questions and you follow along, I have coached several people. Several. I took 250 pounds off one guy throughout my lifetime, someone that I met that I cared about, that wouldn't have been able to afford anybody to help him get that weight off. And I said to him, Brian, I'll help you for free. And I did. I helped him for free. He took 250 pounds off. I taught him exactly how to do it, and he did it. So same thing here. I'll teach you guys. If you want to learn how to do this intermittent fasting, and you know, V. Boyer said grass, you want to have wheatgrass, it goes in your time window of eating. No calories go in your body outside of your time window of eating. I prefer the night because I like to smoke my weed at night, and then I like to eat. So that's how I like to do it. And then I cut off that window and I stop eating after that. And you guys will see, like, look, I know, I am with myself. When I talk to me, when I look myself in the mirror, I go, man, you are looking how you look, bro. You need to step up your game, right? Well, I'm not waking up in the morning taking an extraordinarily cold shower after my hot shower. That's the other thing. When you start intermittent fasting, do the cold water in the morning. It'll help you so much. 5 minutes of freezing cold shower water, freezing cold water will help you so much. Help you circulate your blood so much. That's why you wake up and you do the freezing cold water with the coffee and then a brisk walk. And your body, I do a brisk walk when I start this intermittent fasting program. Just not, if you're going to go to the gym, that's great. But wake up in the morning, get that freezing cold water, brisk walk, and caffeine in your body, and you're going to circulate your blood for the day and start yourself off because you're not going to have any calories coming in the rest of the day. I take this really seriously, and I follow it to an exact T. You'll see when I measure out the oil tomorrow and I take the straight oil, you'll see I measure it out exactly. And it's eating is so fast. Eating is so fast now. Eating is so quick because I'm eating in a very tiny little window. It's really easy to do. Everything is ready to go. And let me tell you, when it's time to eat, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. And people will talk about how they can't stand the taste of some food and this and that. Let me tell you something. When you don't eat for 24, 25, 26 hours, say you ate last time at 5 p.m. on Friday, and then you're going to eat, and Saturday gets pushed and your time gets pushed, and pretty soon it's 10, 11 o'clock before you're in the setting where you can actually lay your food out because you've taken this really seriously. And then you lay your food out, and it's been 30 hours since you ate last. That first bite of chicken is really good. I mean, it's really, now I do a little Perrier water with pure white meat when I eat that really lean. And you can also do a pea protein powder if you're a vegan. I don't know what happened there. I guess it just kicked off the thing. So, ow. So I'm just going to teach you guys, you know, it's, Gloria, if he follows it to a T, it's a game changer. It's a total game changer. It really, really is. It'll help you guys so much if you follow it exactly. And here's the whole kicker. You just don't eat. And then you go, oh, I'm dying. I need something. You have a cup of coffee, black coffee. Put a couple shakes of salt in your coffee to take the bitterness out. And then you're like, I'm dying. Do a green tea, just a straight green tea. A little salt and some water. You'd be amazed. Salt makes you feel a lot better. It's crazy. And then by the time you get to your meal, man, it's like you have such an appreciation for that food. And you don't really save a lot of money. You just spend your money differently because you're buying essential foods so that your body works with you and it's not fighting you. If you don't have the proper probiotics and prebiotics in your system, the next day your stomach will tell you to eat something bad. Your stomach has its own brain. There's tons of studies on this. You can look it up. So if you don't have the proper probiotics and prebiotics in your stomach when you're doing one meal a day or eating in a 1 or 2 hour or 4 hour window, and you don't put the proper probiotics and prebiotics in there, the next day your body will say, hey, you know what? I need to have a bag of Cheetos. And you're like, I've never craved Cheetos before, but the probiotics and prebiotics that you didn't get are speaking for you. So it's really important. Hey, what's going on? So, you know, you guys want to make sure that, you want to make sure you use pink Himalayan salt. Pink Himalayan salt. Love you too, Smile Kyle. Good to see you. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys on this. This is not something I want to stay on for too long. I just want to teach you guys a little bit, and then I'll just get off and I'll just keep going. So, all right. Do I have any questions? If there's any questions, the problem with the tablespoon of honey is you can do the garlic. You have rice, cops have duties. You can do the honey and the garlic, but that would be like your treat. That would be your treat. Because that's a lot of sugar. That's a ton of sugar. You want to try to avoid sugar. Anything that's going to spike your insulin. You want to try to keep sugar out, because if you do this properly, eventually I can show you how to transition into keto and you lose an amazing amount of fat, incredible amount of fat. It's I mean, you guys will be able to see. We'll be able to go back and look at this broadcast. I'll do the same backdrop with Delete Lawz, show you guys my face, and you'll see changes happen. And talk is cheap, so I'll just show you. It's really an amazing thing. That's why there's no diet program. You just don't eat. You just don't eat. You don't have any calories. You only have coffee, tea, black coffee, green tea, or salt, pink Himalayan salt. There's no diet plan. And then when you break the fast, you do that with a clean white protein, and then you make sure you take in all your essential vitamins, proteins, and essential fatty acids, which I'm going to teach tomorrow. I'm not going to teach that tonight because it's just too much. This is already 40 minutes and it's too long. So yeah, I will. I'll show you guys exactly how it works. It's going to be really cool. People at first are going to be like, oh, there's, this guy's doing this thing, and wait till we're done. Wait till we're done. It might take 4 months. It might take 3 months. But when we're done, you guys, it's an amazing thing that you guys will witness. And some of you guys will be a part of it, because if you actually do it, it's incredible. Oh, 3 meals is way too much. 2 meals is too much. Depends on when you're having those meals. If those 2 meals are 8 hours apart, you're spiking your insulin twice, 2 different times, where you're going to be packed full of insulin for 8 hours each time. That means you're 16 hours with insulin and sugar in your blood. And so you're not going to be burning any ketones. So no fat's going to burn over those 2 different meals. So yeah, those are way too far apart. Those are way too far apart. So, all right. Vegetarian does the exact same thing. You're just going to break your fast with the protein pea powder. You're going to use the, vegetarians, you have to make sure you get an abundance of protein. So you're going to want to break your fast with that protein powder made out of peas. It's super high in protein, and it's pretty clean. So start with that, and then add in your essential fats, add in your lettuce and your seeds and your probiotics and prebiotics, and then make sure you get more of your protein, different sources in there after that if you're a vegetarian, instead of any kind of meats. But I always recommend to everybody you had taken at least 2 or 3 ounces of a liver protein or a T-bone steak protein. I have them myself. I'm gonna do the same thing, even if you're, it's about the most essential things that are good for you, and it is good for you. It's not good not having any of the most nutrient dense product on earth, which is going to be beef liver or T-bone steak fats. So that's just a fact. All right. Yo, Eric Trillo, what's going on? How are you, brother? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. That's the whole thing, PJCnet, is it's harder as you get older if you don't take care of yourself. If you decide to, by the way, I gained all this weight by having breakfast. That's how I gained all the weight. I typically don't eat till the end of the night. I gained this weight by having coffee and creamer and eating a bunch of garbage for breakfast, which spiked my sucrose in the morning, and then I would spike it again at night. That's how I gained 40 pounds in 4 months, and I think I can take it off faster than I gained it. That's how confident I am in intermittent fasting. All right, listen, I'm going to get the flock out of here because I got to talk to some people about what's going on over there in West Virginia. So I got nothing but love for you guys. Thank you for coming. I'm going to get the flock out of here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, getters. Oh, if you have any